Just like your father.
I'm not like my dad. I'm smarter than him. Better than him.
So it seems like it's just got real for our characters in Ghost Season 3. We're gonna pick up from where we left off at the end of Season 2, with no real major time jump, but the stakes are gonna be even higher than ever before. It seems that Zeke's funeral will be interrupted by a drive-by, and potentially by the new Dangerous Connect, who we now know is Noma. Noma is a character Tariq St Patrick, Effie, Brayden, and the Tejadas will be working under, and it doesn't look like she plays games. She's comfortable in a boardroom as she does pulling the trigger, but worse, even with a machete. So wherever Tariq finds himself, which is going to be deeper in the game, under Noma, as well as in Wall Street, there's going to be a few things we can be certain of. People generally end up dead around him, including loved ones, and I feel that's a place where Tariq will find himself again in Season 3. This season looks explosive in every single possible way, from betrayals to power and greed. And one thing we can be certain of is, every single one of these characters are out for themselves, especially both Effie and Tariq St Patrick, who's trying to become his own man and be better than his father was. But only time will tell if he succeeds. So let's break down this trailer for Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3. Now, a suit does do a lot for an image, but it won't fool the people still watching every single one of your moves, and those were the words and advice from Davis McLean to both Tariq St Patrick and Brayden Weston, as they get some tailor-made suits, and it is something we've seen Davis do before in Season 2.
In your old job, you had to look trustworthy. In this job, you gotta look successful.
So Davis definitely knows how to dress the part, and to be fair to him, his record also speaks for itself. But as Tariq and Brayden begin a new journey on Wall Street, their image won't fool the people who are watching their every move, and they will be watched heavily regardless if Tariq is now in the boardroom. Eyes and ears are going to be everywhere, not just on Tariq St Patrick, but you can add Effie to the list, Brayden, and the Tejadas, who are all suited and booted for different occasions, some for the boardroom and some for a funeral. And one person who's going to be watching them is Cooper Saxe, whose time may finally be up, because it's not just Tariq and the Tejadas who have eyes on them, so does Saxe. But Tariq has made it this far, so can he take it one step further? Can he live up to those words he spoke of at the end of the trailer, where he said he's smarter and better than his father? Well, let's wait and see, because now Tariq is about to enter Wall Street with Brayden Weston. That's how they're going to move their product. He's looking at all these in Wall Street because those in Wall Street are flush with cash. And when people are flush with cash, they party. And when they party, they need a high. And Tariq's identified Wall Street. But not only is Tariq back in business with the Tejadas, he's now in business directly with Noma and Obi. Noma is a worldly powerful woman with a regal presence who's built her wealth in an illicit global empire, and is not afraid to protect it by any means necessary. And Obi is a young man schooled in Britain who knows his way around a gun, but is equally comfortable in a boardroom. And this is who Tariq, Effie, and the Tejadas will be working under. And let's just say, from the first glimpse, she seems like she's a woman who takes no shit, as she wants both Effie and Tariq. If she doesn't see the profit, there definitely will be consequences. Now, she's someone who sticks by her word, as she appears around the corner and fires a few rounds at someone, as well as raising a machete. Whether it has any links to the previous scene that we saw in the teaser is yet to be seen. But Noma and Obi seem like they're the real deal, and most dangerous connect that we may possibly have had on Power Book 2 Ghost, especially as we see a stressful look on Tariq's face as Davis asks him, "Who is this bitch?" So Tariq, Effie, and the Tejadas are going to be moving more weight than ever before. We see Effie stacking product in the lockers that Brayden had built in Season 2 when they were running course correct, and Kane understands how the game works. They need to move the product or they're dead. And we've seen this before from Tariq St Patrick. It's typical Ghost-like. He says, "I've got this," which is something Ghost always used to say. But this time it's different. Tariq is deeper in the game than ever before, and he's gonna have to use this from time to time. But Noma and Obi are two dangerous characters that not only Tariq St Patrick has never come across, but also the Tejadas, as we see Monet pulling a piece on someone in their home and telling Drew that she's in charge, and things are about to look different. But if Monet's in charge, what's happened to Lorenzo? Because there is no way he'd let Monet be in charge of their organization. In Season 2, we saw a clear power struggle between the two, so it seems like not only Zeke's death will complicate matters, so will Noma's introduction. Lorenzo talks about how she's coming after all of them, and I can only think of one person based on this trailer, Noma. We see a battered and bruised Lorenzo, as well as being taught a lesson in the street if they don't obey by Noma's rules. So each one of these Tejadas will be on their guard, especially when it comes to the funeral. Now before we get to the shootout, we do have to mention, Kane isn't wearing the chain that he gave to Lorenzo in this scene, but he was in the scene that we saw in the teaser. so I'm not sure what changes from this scene to when they carry out the casket, but one thing we do know is they're going to be under heavy gunfire. This funeral will be interrupted by a drive-by, which will probably result in more casualties, but Drew seems like he's taking charge, but this only seems like it's going to cause even further divide and issues with the Tejadas. No doubt we're going to see Kane and Monet back at it again. Drew and Kane seem like they're at odds, and even Diana throwing her hands, with Diana blaming Monet once again. She's saying she's the problem, but at times, I really do think Diana needs to take a hard look at herself.
That ain't your fucking auntie! That's your mother!
Mo!
Nah, I really wouldn't be surprised if Diana was actually the one causing trouble, but using certain situations to benefit her cause, because if we've learned one thing about the Tejadas, it's that they all look out for themselves. But family will also be family, as we see Kane protecting the Tejadas' house from a drive-by, so every single one of these characters will need to keep their head on a swivel. Now, as we talk about family, Tariq doesn't have much left apart from Grandma Estelle, who I'll come to later on, so we're gonna see him leaning on Brayden and Effie even more, just like he did in season 2. But lingering on Brayden's conscience is Lauren's death. He wants to tell Tariq the truth, but Effie says they're taking that to the grave, as she's left stranded by her own on whoever's taken this car. Now, Lauren's death will definitely cause a huge problem between Tariq, Effie, and Brayden, because Tariq doesn't buy Lauren being killed in a car accident, and we did see him dig a little deep towards the end of season 2 when he questioned Kane, and it's going to continue on in season 3 with Effie. He wants the truth, and the camera does give us a close-up of Effie reaching for a piece, but there is no way she'd be putting a piece on Tariq, because this would only end in one way for Effie if it's between Tariq and Effie. But Power do love to manipulate these trailers, but we also do need to remember, Effie's out for herself, and if she realizes her life is in danger, then she won't be afraid to eliminate the threat. Now, on the Lauren situation, we've got Tariq punching Brayden, possibly the moment where he finds out about Lauren's death and Effie and Brayden's involvement, and if I were Tariq, I'd be pissed at this betrayal as well. But we have to look at the other perspective. As much as Lauren was forced into the wire in the wire by Carrie, she's someone who remained a threat to them all. So albeit Lauren was caught in the middle, Effie did what needed to be done, but it will definitely cause problems between the new partnership of Kane, Effie, Brayden, and Tariq St Patrick. Now, this is something I've heavily focused on during the Power Off season, this partnership of Kane and Effie behind Tariq's back, because we saw it once before in season 2, and so I was expecting to see this once again. What makes them go behind Tariq's back is yet to be seen, but one thing they have in common is they understand the streets, and they know when to get shit done. Whereas Tariq St Patrick, he does have this side to him that Ghost had. He only kills when he has to, and he also wants to leave the game. Now, where Tariq St Patrick wants to leave, someone who's going to be deeper in the game, is Brayden Weston. We see him with a gun in hand, which what looks like to be at a hospital, and even though we're going to see Brayden working for his father at his hedge fund in Wall Street, he's going to be busy with his hands in season 3. Shit is about to get real for Brayden Weston, and this is the season where he starts to take a real turn and make some big decisions about who he wants to be, because once you pull the trigger, you can never go back. But it is actually Tariq who's going to pull the trigger in this situation, saving Brayden. So there's going to be a lot of blood on these streets, and even guns pointing in the direction of Tariq St Patrick himself. So Tariq will definitely have some tough decisions. So how about this one? Davis tells him that she needs to go, but who's he talking about? This is very reminiscent of how Joe Proctor once told Ghost to take care of the problem of Maria Suarez, except Ghost and Proctor, they were two characters who became close friends. On the other hand, Davis's relationship with Tariq St Patrick is strictly business. If they pay, he plays, but someone definitely needs to go. So could he be talking about Effie? Now, the trailer actually ends very reminiscent to the way season 1 finished, where we had Tommy telling Tariq at James St Patrick's grave, "You're exactly like Ghost."
You see this bullshit right here? This shit exactly like him. Just like Ghost.
Now, this time we hear it from Grandma Estelle, except this time, we hear Tariq saying he's smarter than him and better than him, but only time will tell if that's true, because there's only one way to prove that: leave the game with his life intact, something Ghost couldn't do. So with that being said, that's a breakdown of the official trailer for Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3, and one which looks explosive in every single possible way. There's new threats, there's going to be betrayal, there's going to be a fight for power and money, but at the end of the day, Monet and Tariq do want out the game, but will they succeed? Because standing in their way will be Noma. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and of course if you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.